Hey, Mo Hashim here with Flat Fee Landlord Property Management, serving the DC metro area. We are a third-party manager for Northern Virginia, Washington, DC, and Maryland. We are a property management company that manages rental properties, single-family units, individual condominiums, and townhomes for individual investors and real estate homeowners. Today I want to go over real quickly a question that comes up quite often this time of year, now that we're getting towards the end of the summer, and that is for those people that try to sell their home and were not successful. What do you do now? You got a home, you got to move out. Maybe in some cases you have already moved out, whether it be for job transfer or whatever the case may be. So you may have a vacant house, or the house is going to become vacant here pretty soon. You tried your hand at selling it over the spring and summer, you weren't successful, so what do you do now? You got to move out. Well, this happens quite often for us. We typically get a lot of phone calls this time of year for those types of people that their first thing that they wanted to get accomplished was to sell the home, but since they can't now, the other option is to rent it out for a year and then try it again next year, or depending on market conditions, write it out for a couple of years as a rental and then possibly sell it down the road. So that's what I want to walk through with you today. Because we get so many people this time of year reaching out to us for that, I want to kind of give you some advice and what to expect as a landlord if that is the route you decide to go. So first and foremost, when it comes to expectations as a landlord that are trying to rent their home here at the end of the summer, I would just want to let you know that real estate is kind of, whether it's sales or rentals, they both kind of walk hand in hand, okay? There's a prime real estate time throughout the year, and that's typically the spring and summer. And regardless if we're talking about sales or rentals, the amount of activity that happens for both of those are at the highest and at their peak during the spring and summer, okay? And that's typically because people are not in school. If people do want to move, they want to do it while school is out so that it doesn't cause any issues with their kids or even with themselves if they're college students with the school year. So they try to get that done before school starts. Once school starts, you are unfortunately going to see a little bit of a lull on both the rental side and the sales side, because that is when people get tied up with other things. They're back to school, back to work, and not a whole lot of people are looking for property during that time. So one expectation I want to give you is if you didn't have much luck trying to sell the home, don't expect all of a sudden floodgates to open with a bunch of potential renters that are ready to rent your home as soon as you put it on the market. They go kind of hand in hand. So if you're having some trouble with the sales side, depending on what that may be, it may be different stuff, whether maybe you were priced too high, or you were just having issues with the marketing of the property, or maybe it didn't show very well, you needed some upgrades or repairs. A lot of those things also come into play on the rental side. So if you are going to list your property for rent this time of year, please, I do recommend that you be very aggressive when it comes to what your expectation is for the monthly rent, as well as how the property shows and the marketing of that property. You want to try to get it rented out as quickly as possible during this time of year, because if you don't, once you start getting later into the fall and then into the winter, it gets really difficult to try to rent out a property during that time because people are just tied up doing other things. If they're currently renting, a lot of leases don't come up, expire during that time frame. So again, it just comes down to the pool of people, the amount of people, the amount of real estate activity. It doesn't increase during the fall or winter, it decreases. And whenever demand goes down, unfortunately, usually prices also go down and vacancy rates go up. So just some things for you to consider if you are going to be putting your home on the market. Number one, be very aggressive with the price. Number two, make sure your home shows very well and is ready to be rented right away. Number three, make sure that you're being realistic and you're planning in case your home does stay vacant for a month or two. Make sure you have that financial cushion to be able to pay the mortgage without rent coming in. And four, do your best to try to rent it out as early as possible in the fall and try not to let it linger into later fall and into the winter. If you're going to be open to accepting a price lower than what you currently are marketing it at, you might as well just start at that price and try to get it rented out sooner than later. Otherwise, you may have a very long term of vacancy on your property, and that could cause some major issues for you. So if you got any other questions about renting out your home during this time of year, which is late summer, early fall, feel free to reach out. Our website is flatfeelandlord.com, or give us a call at any time.